And welcome back, guys, to part 3 of the Universal Open Season 2, presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Now it's time for Game 3, as I previously mentioned. Now it's about Inspiration versus the Dignitas Takers Downers, which is what I'm going to call them. There's probably a better term for that, in Team Method. An impressive start from Team Method here, but another challenge now. As we say, they managed to take down Dignitas and knock them out of the tournament. But it all could be for nothing if they don't take this win here.
Yeah, they're up against Inspirations, composed of Ocelon and Petrick. Ocelon played last year in the Rival Series. He was with Lottie Sibadum and Flakes, also under the same name. They've kind of revived that here for this 2v2, so he's taken a bit of a backseat after that. That was the first season of Rival Series. They didn't play, or at least Ocelon didn't play in this second one, so he's taken a bit of a backseat here, but he's back here to play some 2v2. Curious to see how he does. There's not much else beyond that.
Question for you very quickly, Shogun. What were your thoughts on Dignitas Taker Downers? Because I think I could do a lot better.
Actually, I like it because we've got a lot of...
It was kind of naive and like, do you know what I mean?
I feel like we've got a lot of sort of
there was some honesty behind it
though this week.
Yeah.
We've got Grinder and...
Grinder? I thought it was Blender.
A Blender, whatever. You put them for the Grinder.
Yeah.
Anything like that. I feel like Taker Downers is pretty nice compared to the Dignitas Killers. So
yeah, that's what I was looking
I'm okay
for.
With that.
Like,
I feel like we have to stick to the food motif, you know, like a meat tenderizer. So like
that's fair.
Dignitas tenderizer, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I could do better. I'll do better next time. I promise everyone at home. But what are your thoughts on this one?
So we've just seen from Mouse how you can go from taking down one of the best teams in the world one moment to sort of underperforming, and that brings up a very big point about this lower bracket, which is consistency. You can be phenomenal one moment, but you got to keep that going for a lot of series straight. And for these two teams, there is another series to play after this if you want to try and get through. Now, that will be tomorrow, but we've seen what you can do. Can you do it consistently over and over and over again?
I think that's the worry potentially here for Method. We know the type of player that's on this team. They've obviously just pulled off a pretty huge performance there, taking down Dignitas. The worst thing they could do right now is take their foot off the gas and think that that's going to be their hardest competition so far. I mean, yes, if you look at the Siege, you look at the level of competition, yeah, you've done the hardest job. But, as I say, it could be for nothing. If they don't come in with the same fire like they did in that Dignitas series and take it to this team on Inspiration, then they're going to be kicking themselves. This is a huge opportunity for them to make it through this bracket.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, again... I think all of us were like, okay, Dignitas, yes, that's the team that all of us were like, wonderful, they'll go into the LAN. And now that they're gone, and courtesy of Method, you think these guys theoretically the team to beat, and you got to keep that going. Despite being in the loser bracket, it's a long road all the way to the top, and you got to get through Ocelon and Petrick here first.
That's very, very true. Now let's talk about Inspiration. What have they got to do in this game to take down the Dignitas knocker outer as
I'm still happy with it. You keep with that one.
I'm owning it. I don't know. Whatever.
So the person that you might be most familiar with on that team is Ocelon, as you mentioned, part of the Rival Series. He was also one of the European Titans for the 12 Titans tournament. He was there at the live environment. I've seen him try and play like a VR height game.
Yes.
He's not very good at VR height.
I've played that, and that is genuinely terrifying. Like, little scream came out when I fell.
He didn't do great about it, but he is a very solid ones player. We've also seen how ridiculously strong ones players can be. There's another side to this, though. Method, this is a huge switch up for them because they go from massive underdogs in the previous series to the favorites coming into this one. That might play around with their heads just a little bit, but at the same time, it is going to be all on Inspiration to try and get that work done because Burrito B, I'm not going to say he can keep going. In fact, I'm going to say he can't. There's no way Burrito B can play at the same level as he just was. But if he's playing anywhere near it,
challenge
that's going to be a huge
I was going to say, if Burrito B sat at home watching this right now, he's going, I'll show you. Shogun, no, don't worry about it. I've got it. Like, I've got this one. Don't worry.
I think Burrito B can play well, but nothing can ever beat. I'm not going to say single-handedly, but very much having a huge part to do with beating the world champions.
Okay, well, it looks like we're trying to get into this game as soon as we possibly can. As soon as we can get into it, of course, we will bring it to you. Our game number 3, we do have one more game to bring you after this as well. Our first 3-0 what were your first thoughts on our first 3-0 sweep? It was a kind of anticlimactic, wasn't it? Like we've been spoiled so far, haven't we? We really have been spoiled with the Rocket League that we've had in the Universal Closed.
It's been like, you know,
European Closed Qualifiers. Excuse me.
You have to balance the emotional roller coaster of Game 5 with the lazy river ride sometimes, you know. And Fnatic and Mouse said, look, this is how we play this game. We're gonna win, and you can all go back to doing whatever the heck you want.
That's true. And now we've got two ways to predict things as well, by the way. We have the coin of truth. As you can see here, it's still very much viable. But also over my shoulder, there's something that we've added to the set. Let us know if you're if you can keep an eye out for that one and see exactly what's going on with that. But we'll leave that to you, chat. We know you're observant. We know you've got eagle eyes when you need it. So the teams are joining, gentlemen. Predictions for this one before we get into it.
Got to stick with Method. You know, they took down Dignitas, so there's no reason without seeing it to say they're gonna lose.
Okay, and what about you, Shuggy?
Yeah, I was way too impressed with Method earlier on to go against them right now.
Yeah, I feel like this one is definitely Method's in Method's hands. I feel like the only way that they could potentially let this one slip is if they beat themselves and don't come in with that same intensity that we saw in our last series from them. But game number 1 is live. Let's get straight into this one. Inspiration taking on Method.
So, Method, the Dignitas Taker Downers. I believe that was the name?
Yes. Or some variant thereof.
It was very close to that. Ocelon can't get that one on target, but Rita already had that covered. Very fast performance earlier on from Method.
It's also another interesting thing, you know. You can't expect Petrick and Ocelon to be playing at the same speed K-Dop and Violent Panda are, and that's a second adjustment that Rix Ronde and Burrito B are going to have to make in this one.
Ocelon in control of the ball. He tries to trap it the entire way, but now it's Burrito B trying to charge forward for a challenge. Demo as well. 2 players out, Ocelon and Burrito B. And Petrick tries to race down,
Great
but
play.
There's going to be a third one for our money.
Good early pressure, though, from Petrick and Ocelon, you know. Boxing, Rix Ronde and Burrito B, not really letting them out of their own half for too long of a time. That's a big miss. And finally, perhaps a brief stint here over on blue side. Just kidding. Literally brief. 2 seconds.
Ocelon can't get it the entire... Every single time Ocelon's been open on net, he's been demoed, and that is twice now. Rix Ronde can't take it the entire way as Ocelon already challenges. And Inspiration having a great start to this so far, putting together a couple of really good chances for themselves, but equally as important, haven't looked like they're going to be shaky on the rotation either.
You know, to be fair, we didn't give them a whole lot of credit coming into this one because, you know...
We haven't seen a whole lot of them.
Exactly, but we have to remember who they beat to get here, you know?
That's the thing. Every single team in this tournament. I feel like a lot of our predictions just come in. Okay, this team was really good and we saw them. We know the other team's really good, but I didn't get a chance to see them yet on broadcast, so... Just that one.
Inspiration took down No-Brainers and PSG. It's like, it's a quality 2v2 squad, clearly.
Back out. Drop down, Burrito B off the backboard. Looking for a setup, but Ocelon's got it covered. You see the Method didn't want to really overstay their welcome. Rix Ronde almost flipped the ball over the top of Ocelon. Follow up from Burrito B. Yet another save. Ocelon has to go and pick up that corner boost, otherwise he was going to be out of the play.
Wow. And he got a perfect bounce up to him as well. Allows him to get over the head of Rix Ronde.
A lot of respect from Method when it comes to Ocelon's control of the ball. Infield pass not available. Tries to go to the far side. I did like that, though. There was a second where he just took a look, see whether or not his teammate was there, and then went for the shot.
We pretty much saw that almost exact same goal. They might get beat here, though. Rix Ronde gets it tapped over his head. Ocelon's going to finish it off in the first one. It took about 3 minutes to get there, but it's Inspiration on the board first.
Inspiration just took a long clear. Despite the amount of offensive pressure they had to start the game, there was a transition from their side of the field down to the other one. But both these teams, I gotta say, I've actually quite liked what I've seen so far.
Fairly evenly matched. Surprising to see Burrito B and Rix Ronde be a little bit less effective, but Ocelon and Petrick, they've had brilliant pressure out of the midfield. They've certainly not let Burrito B and Rix Ronde walk all over them.
Petrick would have wished to put that into the top corner. Rushed the shot just a little bit, and that could have pinched into the net. Imagine how that would feel if that one went in. But all the work that Inspiration have done to get their first goal. Petrick. Quite early on the challenge.
Oh, they want to pinch.
Method can't quite execute on that pinch. Off the backboard, Rix Ronde. Crucial touch for him, but he is going to require his teammate. Ocelon didn't even move up. Now to the corner. Method just need that one big challenge win if they want to try and open up Inspiration, especially when they've got players back. Petrick straight down the middle. Rix Ronde Over to Burrito B. Looks for Rix Ronde again, but he's not going to be able to find him. And every single shot that we're seeing from Ocelon and Petric, not necessarily like they're trying to score, they're just trying to waste boost. Very high up balls that are requiring an aerial.
It's kind of the same for both teams, though, and it's because neither team has really had a two-man attack on both sides yet. This might be the first chance as Ocelon just picked up the midfield boost, but great tackle, and he had to give respect out of the midfield, but he's got a wide open net. Burrito B pushed off into the great abyss.
Yeah, Petric played this one so well. Burrito B got to play both offense and defense at the same time. There was so much time he had to put that one into the back of the net. Now, the 2-goal lead. 44 seconds left. Inspiration look to be taking game number 1 unless Method can have a thunderous end to this game to potentially take us to overtime.
Oh, wow. What a recovery from Ocelon. Slowly floating down and still able to get the car out in front of it just to stop them cutting the lead in half.
Great touch from Ocelon.
2 in a row.
He's got 1 boost. Not do too much more with it, but
That's the demo. He's done getting demoed.
is the perfect place for Ocelon to be. He's wasted 10 seconds off the clock with 0 boost, just trying to take the ball from one end to the other.
Gotta put this in.
Yeah, Rix Ronde, he's put it up high and it's not going to go in. It will be a save from Ocelon, but the original shot should have been in before Ocelon even had the chance. And that's going to bounce in for a demo goal, own goal sort of thing. Rix Ronde will at least get the credit. Yeah, you're not going to see any other contact from the orange side for the rest of this goal.
Good shot, Petric. Nailed it.
Well, 2-1 is definitely a lot more of a respectable score. But on set, Ocelon and Petric, they look really solid.
I think you made a great point. We're quite far into the bracket so far. These guys have beaten some very notable teams to be here. We're always talking about Method because of what they just did in their previous game, but we have to give some huge props and respect to this Inspiration team. They win the first game of this series, and they were on the back foot for a fair bit of it, but they got the result.
Yeah, I mean, Ocelon and Petric, I felt actually controlled the game pretty convincingly over on the offensive side. Rix Ronde and Burrito B, they boxed into their own half a lot more. It was like that 3 minutes remaining to like 1 minute remaining. Both teams were just taking turns. One man on attack, one man rotating out to get boost. And it was just the longest, most drawn-out game of ping pong ever. And then Ocelon just decided, and Petric as well, that was a big one to give them insurance. But Ocelon in general, a couple of brilliant challenges. They really turned the favor, and that save is there as well. Just, if there's a difference maker, it was Ocelon undoubtedly in that game.
Now, I mean, sorry, I'll let you go on.
Now, the big thing for me, and a criticism for both teams, is it doesn't really feel like a 2v2 game.
Yeah.
Right now, we're seeing these
teams
teams
1v1v1v1.
Not even a 1v1v1v1, but more 1v2 for long periods of time, and then we'd switch to a 1v2 down the other end of the pitch where someone new has finally got the ball and taking their chance. We need to start seeing these second players get involved a little bit more. Now, whether or not that means, having the first player sort of pass off to them more times
or
timing. Be closer on the shot. I don't really know. It's both teams very...
It's the resource management game, it's how aggressively they're trying to push this ball onto offense, and it's just like, all right, once you get control of the ball, take, extra half second or so and be like, look, do you have boost? No? Okay, let's not just needlessly push this down to the other end and try and score a goal. Be like, all right, let's do something different. Go up the sidewall, buy extra time. You don't know what's going to happen next, but you can't just keep beating your head against the wall of, like, maybe this one goes in.
Question for you guys. Do you think that might have actually been a good thing for Method to lose that first game of the series?
No.
I'm talking, obviously, statistically, but it's definitely going to wake them up a little bit, isn't it? They still might have been on that high from that Dignitas game. Now they've been brought back down to earth, and now it's going to force them to focus up a little bit, is kind of my point here.
Wake-up call, potentially. I don't think that they really let that win go to their head, so to speak. I think they were kind of just... caught off guard by how well Ocelon and Petric played, because again, we were a little bit unfamiliar with what to expect from Ocelon and Petric just because we haven't seen them in such a long time. And for them to come out and put on such a strong showing, I think a little bit of a surprise as well for Rix and Burrito B.
Okay, then, well, game number 2, the players are joined, the players are ready. I want to get into this one as soon as we possibly can, because at the moment, Method are 1 down in the series. Inspiration currently up by 1 after taking a close game number 1 2-1. We'll get into it as soon as we can. It looks like we can get into it right now, so let's get into it, gentlemen. It's game number 2.
It's me. Both teams going for a cheat kickoff. Inspiration and Method head into game number 2. Ocelon taking a lot of time, and he's just mind-gamed everybody. Tries to go underneath. And he couldn't 1v2, but Ocelon, I don't think he's really lost a challenge so far.
He's just making him think on defense, and Rix Ferrande and Burrito B are biting at everything he throws at him. He hasn't been able to convert too many of them, but having that power over people is an important factor.
Ocelon seems to be in his groove at this sort of slowed down pace. See, once again, he's just taking his time, measuring his opportunity, and then going for it. Method have been happy to take on this sort of game. Rix Ronde plays it to the side, and that is some great, great backboard use. Just made the goal that little bit bigger for himself.
He did that one. Unfortunate challenge, and Ocelon thinks he's got the speed to beat this one to him. Had to take that 1v1 challenge, though. Just not enough respect for Rix Ronde simply being closer to that ball off the side wall. Decided to take a risky challenge. He was punished for it.
Now Ocelon wins the kickoff. The first time Method have got the lead. Rix Ronde to the corner. He won't get any boost, though. That has been stolen away by Petric. He looks to try and take himself down to the other end of the field. Nice early challenge. Rix Ronde, he's found Burrito B, but Burrito B is beat to the ball. Now Ocelon looking to try and convert. And Rix Ronde, you can tell how much he did not want to give Ocelon any control over the ball. Yeah. Immediately tries to take away at the midfield.
Adjustments Rix Ronde, Burrito B are going to have to make, you know. They've seen 5 minutes of how Ocelon and Petric approach the play. They noticed Ocelon was the one making all the moves happen. And they've said, look, we're not going to allow that to keep happening. Or at least we're going to try and limit it as much as we can. Poor clear, free goal, and bar. Another one.
Now Petric with the transition. Ocelon is up in support. But Rix Ronde will do enough just to take that one over the top of the oncoming player.
And today, Shogun, we've seen the bar be the difference maker, or at least missing a wide open net.
Method play.
Yeah, we've seen missing a wide open net cost a team. And you have to wonder if that might be the case here for Rix and Burrito B. Can't count on a 1-goal lead being enough to get you through. We already know that.
Ocelon trying to find some way once again. Puts the ball up high and forces boost out from Rix Ronde as he tries to steal a little bit over in the corner. It's a very basic strategy from Inspiration, but it looks to be working out because this is what it results in. Petric will turn that in.
Both goals in Game 2, wide open chances, risky challenges from both teams. It's basically the same scenario, except furthermore towards the sidewall. The player on defense thinks he's got a little bit more time to work with than he actually does. And it's funny because most of the time I say you have a little bit more time than you think you do on defense, but it's tempered by realizing when you're beat to the ball.
So now we're at 1 goal each. Half the game left to play. Rix Ronde taking out Ocelon. And now we've got a 1v1 on the other side. Burrito B couldn't quite get it past Petric. Still a lot of individual plays being attempted. Ocelon booms the ball out to Petric for the redirect. That's on target. Forces Burrito B to come in for the save.
Oh, and Ocelon's right there to steal the boost and keep it going. I love it. Denies the midfield boost as well.
And this is going to become a big problem. Petric, he can go and steal this other one, but I don't think he quite saw it. I feel like if Petric got that, that was going to be another goal for Inspiration. Would have been pretty much next to nothing on the side of Method.
Doing a brilliant job managing the resources on the field, though. Haven't generated, you know, the most dangerous of chances, but they're making it hard for Rix Ronde and Burrito B to string anything together.
You don't have to create the best of chances if your opponents can't get anywhere. Rix Ronde looks for an infield, but Burrito B is already on his way back. And over the top, that is going to be yet another one. Inspiration with the lead yet again.
And you know, if you're watching this from Burrito B's standpoint, he's seeing that weird little hesitation at first, thinks he has time to turn around, and as soon as he turns around to go challenge that ball, it's already too late. Petric has already recovered off of that little chip taken out of him and just short hops him. Brilliant dribble. Perfect recovery as well.
Method have got control of the ball straight from the kickoff. Got to make a comeback yet again. They weren't able to do it last game. If they don't, then they will give over 3 match points to Inspiration. As Ocelon has got it over the top. He's picked up boost as well. Goes straight for the net. Maybe a little bit more time to work with. Another bump, and there's Burrito B required yet again. This game is now suddenly all Inspiration. That should have been dealt with so much better by Petric. Ocelon tries to keep control of the field. That midfield currently belongs to Inspiration, but for how much longer? What a touch from Petric. That looked like such a potential for an own goal. But another bump. That should be it. It's not on target. Rich Ronde. He's got to stop finding the net.
A destructive game number 2 for the mindset of Method if they don't equalize.
Oh, that's going to go in. And that is crucial.
You needed that one. No excuse to not put this one in the back of the net. Clean one-on-one chance. Ocelon is locked in to trying to play the defense. To be fair, he made that challenge real close. He saw that first touch from Burrito B. You know, he's a 12 Titans for a reason. He knows when he can go for a challenge. Just didn't quite get there that time.
So both goals number 3 and 4 coming from challenges that were just slightly undercalculated. So we head into the final 10 seconds of the game. Overtime might be where we're going, but Ocelon's got to make contact. He does, and he's got it over to the corner. That should be safe. And he does want overtime. Didn't want to even try to go for a carry.
And if you're Method, you had better win this game.
Oh, they've won this game. 1 game each. Method, straight from the kickoff. They have challenged every single one of these. I feel like there was a little bit of a cheeky plan being hatched from Inspiration. You actually saw Petric on the far left-hand side. It looked like that's where they're going to try and push the ball, but it does not work. And on set, we've got 1 game each.
We do, 1 game each, and I think Achieves was going to headbutt the table if Method didn't manage to take that game in the end. Some frustration coming in from your part, because Method, they had the opportunity to put that one away.
Oh, absolutely. It was a needlessly stress-inducing game from the Method perspective. 2 wide-open nets, and you're missing chances like those, you're asking to get punished. And very fortunate that Ocelon and Petric didn't get a few more chances over on offense to put in the back.
Just going to look at some of these replays, but I have to agree with you. If that is a game that Method lose, they lose the entire series.
Absolutely.
They would not have had a comeback. But here's the important thing. They have got the win. They didn't have a stress-inducing overtime. And to be honest, now because of it, they're the team that look the stronger. They're the team that look like they have a few more options. And we actually saw it last game as well when we saw them play against Dignitas, where for game 1, they didn't look like they quite knew what Dignitas were going for. You know, they kind of let Dignitas clear a little bit too easily. Some of the passing plays for Dignitas were sort of unchallenged, but from game 2 onwards, you slowly saw Method start to recognize what their opponents were trying to go for, and I think we're starting to see the first few shades of that happening here.
Okay, so obviously Method starting to work things out for themselves a little bit. On the side of Inspiration, a little bit of a rough game, which they almost managed to steal away. What have they got to look to do in this second game? Because it felt like they were coming under a bit of a Method barrage in that second game.
A little bit. And it's kind of interesting because, you know, again, it feels like Ocelon has created plenty of brilliant goal-scoring opportunities, and my pages don't want to stay open. But I like Ocelon's approach to the ball. He has definitely made Method think real hard about what they're going to do, and having a player with that kind of potential is a very powerful thing. The question is Petric going to be there to follow it up, or are Method going to break down on defense, double commit, get a little bit antsy? Again, it becomes kind of like that Fnatic mouse game. It's the staring contest of don't blink or you're going to lose. And it's the battle of who makes the bigger mistake. Because both teams made a bunch of real small mistakes, I feel like. It's just who messes up harder, I suppose.
It was surprising to see from Method side of things, considering that they were so efficient against Dignitas, especially on their rotations on defense. I mean, do you think it's a case of them maybe taking their eye off the ball in that first game? Now it's kind of like, okay, all right, we're in for a game here, and we've got to tighten things up a little bit.
I just don't think they're quite used to having this much offense compared to last time.
That's a good point, yeah.
You know, previously they were forced to try and make do with a few opportunities, but getting a little bit too much right now. It feels like a weird complaint to have, but just haven't.
We're in command of the game too much.
We're taking too many shots, but when Dignitas were moving forward, they've moved both players forward, and they got a lot of 2v1s back in the net for our boys over on Method. But this time around, they're dealing with a 2-man defense that is dealing with them very well, and the shots that they are getting have not quite been on target. On the other side, and we did mention Petric, I want to see Petric sort of be up there as an infield option. They don't have to take it, but it forces the defender to look at them.
Here we go then. Game number 3 is underway. A chance for 2 match points for whoever manages to take this one away. Is it going to be Inspiration, or will it be Method once again?
And almost after losing the last game from the kickoff, Method looking for a goal to start us off. It has hit the left of the post. It's hit the right of the post. It's hit above the goal. but it's gone anywhere but in.
Tragedy. Would have loved to start that one off. And
Don't say the word tragedy and finish the sentence there, because I will start singing.
I just got that. Okay.
Ocelon has a peak on my voice that I simply cannot reach. Petric by himself, not the best touch, and Rix Ronde wants to take advantage, and he scored from it. Petric will want that back.
Yeah, nothing to say here. Just a poor clear. Petric needs to get this one at least out towards the midfield line and sets it up right on his goal, and Rix Ronde is waiting in the midfield. The best part, didn't even waste any time going to grab boost or something. He's like, wait a minute, what if he messes up this clear? Aha! And he's done missing goals. He had enough of that last game.
I think it was just because it was such a slow ball. If you want a decent half volley, there's got to be some pace on the ball coming towards you. There was absolutely none that time around. Now Method, a goal up. Ocelon has got ball. He's got 40 boost. And he's looking to do absolute havoc with it. And he's done exactly that. Petric already around. Look to try and make up for the previous miss. Now Ocelon.
Oh, nice play.
Couldn't quite hit Rix Ronde well enough, who avoids narrowly the bump attempts.
It was a brilliant recovery from Rix. Had to dodge the demo and then quickly wheel around and shut down that dribble out of the corner. Excellent defending.
And see why stack defense just doesn't work anymore. Players are consistently having to look out for another player who is trying to just take them out of the game. Good challenge. Ocelon just going to shadow this ball on its way back. Will be beat by Rix Ronde, and that's going to be in a position for Burrito B to try and take control of. Just took an early shot.
Petric getting a little bit cheeky there. Rix Ronde thinking he was going to go straight for a dribble, and Petric's like, I've got time to grab boost.
Always go for the shiny thing.
Every time.
Ocelon.
2-on-1.
1-on-1. Petric's going to try and come forward. He's actually become a non-factor, and an own goal will be narrowly avoided. That was a whole lot of stuff that happened on your screen.
Rix Ronde rotating back on the same side of this ball, and they get the transition down to the other side. It's into the back of the net. Rix Ronde take the arrow fired at them by their own person and decide to spin around and throw it right at Inspiration.
I think that was the end of Kung Fu Panda 2 we just watched.
My goodness.
Sort of redirecting the cannonball back towards the ship. Ocelon. We'll be waiting. It's Petric now on the move. Ocelon also wanted to bump, and Burrito B forced to jump early. Continuous bumps, but Ocelon's still around. He's going to give one straight back to Rix Ronde.
Tough shot there for Petric, but it was a pretty decent chance to the far post. I think he's going to want that one back.
It's the second time that has been said for Petric. Just struggling during those key moments. In the midfield, he seems to have been fine. Burrito B can follow this up, but he's not getting any of that boost. And Ocelon's going to look to try and close in on a goal that could put Inspiration back in the game. Oh, Ocelon's actually been bumped, and if they can hit this well enough, it could be going in. The follow-up from Burrito B will not be there, but they've stolen a little bit of boost. Ocelon just pushes forward. Method can now control the midfield. Rix Ronde with control. Against Ocelon, who reads that one very well, but at the same time, it was a pretty suboptimal 1v1 play.
I did like the patience, though, from Rix Ronde, you know? He saw the defender waiting. He said, "Low, right, this straight-up dribble's not going to work. Let's try and throw in a few mind games there," as Petric gets a pass back to his own corner, and Ocelon in command.
Early challenge from Rix Ronde. Method starting to seem more boastful with every single second. Challenging more and more. Trying to predict the gameplay.
A lot of space
underneath, and Ocelon's now required to take control. Early chance from Rix Ronde, and Ocelon will be thankful that he didn't commit to try and beat Rix Ronde, otherwise he would not have been back to get that save. Miss. Off the backboard, Petric looks to follow. Don't really do too much more than give it back over to Burrito B.
Ooh. Burrito B. You know, if there's one thing Method in general have done, it has been being on top of these plays from Ocelon and Petric. They have been nowhere near as effective as setting up quality goal-scoring chances as they were in the first 2 games.
Oh, tried to find a redirect. 20 seconds left, though. Method. Dominant so far, but that was...
It's not going to matter. He's on the back wall. It's okay.
That was a little bit scary. Could have been much worse. Thankfully, Rixronde was able to recover quick enough. Now, Burrito B wants to find that third, and he is going to do exactly that. Burrito B, what a goal that was. And he's going to get a brace.
Takes a nice soft touch to put this one in off the corner. Got a little bit fortunate that that midfield boost spawned as he drove over it, but nice little lean back, find the angle into the top right corner, and Ocelon and Petric going to have to come back and try and battle for 2 wins in a row.
Absolutely will. Game 1 definitely went in their favor, but ever since then, it just seems like Method has figured them out just a tiny bit. As Ocelon will pick up 1 goal.
Feels good to at least get 1 for them at least. Petric with a great touch off the back wall. And it only really goes in, I feel like, because it's a kickoff and Rix just doesn't have the boost to get up and get a piece of that ball. But either way, you'll take what you can get for Ocelon and Petric and at least not get shut out.
We'll be coming towards the end of this one. Maybe 1 more hit for Method. Can they do it? Off the backboard, Burrito B will not be there for the follow-up shot. So 2 games to 1 for Method. And they're 1 step closer to tomorrow's final game.
Yeah, they'll be very happy if they can close this out, I think, in this next game. They've been given some real scares there, but they really have started to grow into this series again now. Controlled the game pretty nicely,
yes,
in my opinion there. A strong performance there from Method.
Agreed, yeah. And it's, you, Shogun, kind of hinted at it after that first game. You know, they started making those slight little adjustments, and it's just slowly squeezing the space down that they've been allowing Ocelon and Petric. It's not like they've instantly figured out how they do it, but there's a lot more pressure on Ocelon and Petric out of the midfield, and especially in their own half. And Burrito B and Rixronde have just slowly pressed in on them and made it very difficult for them to get anything started.
Yeah, ever since game... I mean, game 1 was a very neutral game from both teams. But every single game we're seeing slight improvements from Method, and you saw it in this game where that slight improvements ended up becoming a huge difference between the 2 teams. It's now all up to Inspiration because something's got to change. Method seem to have their number.
Yeah, the question is now, you've seen Method obviously adapt to what's been in front of them, what's been presented to them by Inspiration, but to send this to a Game 5, now it's the shoe's on the other foot. Inspiration have got to turn this one around, and they've got to try and work out what Method are doing and a way to counteract that. It's
kind of crazy because, you know, they've tried the whole dribble, make the first guy miss, and Ocelon's done an okay job of that, but most of that has been occurring over on the offensive side of things. They haven't really had too much success in the dribble aspect out of their own half, and that's just because, again, Rix and Burrito B out of the midfield, they've got great timing. The spacing's been done quite excellent. And they've been right on top of a lot of these clearing chances. So if you're Ocelon and Petric, you're thinking, man, how do we clear this ball? And actually, I think Bluey gave a pretty good example of that. You know, they like the air dribbles. Yeah, they like the air dribbles. Air the ball out. You might lose possession, but at least you're not going to get boxed in on your own half. You'll have time to grab boost, and you reset it into a neutral game.
Okay, so predictions for this. Do you think that this is closed out right now by Method? You think they're going to see this one through and see themselves into tomorrow? A smile on their faces?
The analyst side of me sort of looks towards what we've seen so far, and it's just getting Method further and further ahead. So I kind of have to go for Method, but the fan within me says Game 5 has to come. So I'm going to go Method.
Method, okay. Achieves.
Yeah, Method.
Okay, then. Well, it looks like the teams are joining. Of course, we want to hear from you guys. Use the hashtag UOS2 to give us your predictions for this game number 4. If you think the Method are going to close this one out right now, or if you think that Inspiration are going to manage to send this to a Game 5. Let's get into our game number 4 then, and let's find out for ourselves.
There's been a couple of early goals so far in this series. Seem to have really set the tone for the matches that we have seen. And once again, the attempted play out automatically covered by Method, as they look to try and lock down this half of the field pretty early, but Ocelot with a big clear looks to try and follow up himself, but Rixronde just turns around. Takes it over again, and this might be a 2v1 if Ocelot is back in time. Instead, looks to try and take it by himself.
The resource management going to be very important here for Petric and Ocelot as this game gets started. You have no boost, can't do anything regardless of how quickly you get out of your own half.
You can see one on the far left-hand corner and the far right. Those are going to be crucial to be held onto by Method. Rixronde got the 1v1, flicks it up. There's the follow from Burrito B off the crossbar and down. And now, slowly, Petric will clear. That was the chance.
Another one for Rix and Burrito B. Open the door in the best way possible.
I feel like they've, after beating Dignitas, consumed their powers. but not the right part of Dignitas's powers.
You know, it's like being in, you know, Sonic. The shadow gems are gone. They're used up.
Burrito B can follow this one up with the tap down, and Oslan saw it coming. There's going to be no follow-up from Rick's Ronde as Petric wanted to flick it over the top. Couldn't quite do it. 90 seconds down in this game. First goal still up for grabs as Oslan tries for the tap. It's just off target. End-to-end gameplay so far to start us off. Petric launches downfield. Burrito B will cover that one. Actually, he's missed it. And Oslan forward.
He saved
Petric
it.
with a rebound shot.
Man.
And Burrito B, both members of Method, be there for the saves. It was a great chance, but I feel like there's criticisms we have on the shot because both were right down the middle.
Right down the gut. It's Rick's Ronde and Burrito. Well, especially Rick's Ronde. He just pre-jumped and said, please hit it into me, and they obliged. But the second save, a great stop from Burrito B, and Oslan and Petric going to be upset they didn't finish that one.
Oslan's taking it past one player. Almost tried to squeeze it past Burrito B. Petric, I don't know what's happening with that one, to be completely honest.
Shogun.
He improvised. It looked like he maybe thought that he had a backflip for longer than the time of it is allowed, and that's just a pretty simple goal to give up.
I'm very familiar with Petric's scenario of, I have no boost, I'm trying to make something happen, and they're not there to challenge, and what do I do? And okay, it's down on the other side.
So Method with the lead. One goal up. They just need this game if they are to head through to tomorrow's qualifying match. I believe they are on the lower side of the bracket compared to the two. So that means that they could potentially be taking on... Who is in the other side? It's too crazy right now regarding the brackets. Burrito B has control. Petric, very heavy with his first touch. Gives it over to Rick's Ronde.
Nice shot.
That will be dropping straight in. 2-0 to Method. And they have got every way of seeing themselves through to tomorrow's qualifier.
And that is a beautiful touch from Burrito B. Getting out in front of it, just killing it right in the middle of the box. And Oslan and Petric have to drive back into the net and worry about the redirect. And there's no time to turn around and try and get out in front of that one. Brilliant touch from Burrito B.
See, where's my bracket on the screen whenever I can't figure out where we are? There's going to be a follow chance off the post twice.
The winner of this game, though, tomorrow, definitely in for a tough match. They'll be playing the winner of No Names or Class on Grass. Or the loser, excuse me. It's Rick's Ronde finds the back of the net. 3-0, and already in danger, Oslan and Petric. Not a lot of time left, 93 seconds. It's a lot to ask anybody.
Just sort of seems like the prophecy is coming true when it comes to Method. Better and better as every single game goes past. And you say it's going to be a difficult game no matter who they play against. That's the same thing you could say for either side.
Yeah.
There is none of those top 4 teams that you would want to play against, as Inspiration have got one back. Well, every comeback starts somewhere.
It does start with the first goal, and Oslan, that's a rare win for the Octane gym, you know. I've never seen an Octane just push through another car ever, Shogun. Ever.
Never happens. Quite frankly, I'm not too sure what people pick the Octane for. I always thought they just didn't quite know what the garage was, and they just stuck with the first car that ever came in. Petric.
Wow.
Gonna force a move out from Rick's Ronde, but he does cover. Off the backboard again. Oslan tried to go for something. Petric has got Oslan over in help. Ooh. Might bounce out to a shooting position, but just landed slightly in front of it.
Not a big fan of the spread of Rick's Ronde and Burrito B at the moment. At least in the midfield, they're getting tied up real close to each other and sometimes don't have a particularly good spread, leaving a lot of space for Oslan and Petric to operate if they get the chance to.
Oh, that's a big challenge win. Oslan.
Nice play.
Take control of it by himself.
Bought extra time for Petric to get set too.
Problem is, they don't have that much extra time. 30 seconds left on the clock. Burrito B trying to find a wonder angle. But now Oslan's got it on his hood. This is not what you want to be, but Rick's Ronde timed it so well. Avoids both bump and flick attempt.
And Petric definitely trying to get involved, you know, hit a man out of the way, but Oslan needs somebody to pass to. Kind of start using that field horizontally as well. No time left, though, for that. Just push.
Brita B inviting Oslan to move forward, which he did not do. And that will be the series for Method. They are heading through to take on one of the losers from tomorrow's upper bracket games. And they have done it.
They stay alive.
They've done it pretty convincingly as well.
They have been pretty convincing in that series. Exactly what they needed to do. They got through the
blender.
They're still in the blender. Like, don't forget that.
They've
just kind of got their heads above the liquid that's in there at the moment, but they're definitely breathing well. But as you say, gentlemen, Method a very well-deserved, however hard-fought victory, as we would expect. Every single team so far in Europe has been putting up one hell of a battle in every single match we've had so far. But again, just rising above their opponents. Yeah,
Aslan, all series long, tried to make some stuff happen. Great dribbles overall, but, eventually Rix Ronde and Burrito B picked up on it. Petrick tried to get involved in that later stage of game number 4, but at that point it was already too late. It's just too much to ask. They were down by too much, and it got out of hand a little too quickly.
Yeah, Method just very clinical with their chances. We saw a variety of different goals coming out from Method, whilst when it came from Inspiration, you sort of knew what you were getting. And if we knew it was coming, Method definitely knew it was coming, and you definitely saw Inspiration just got less chances because they spent a lot less time over in the orange side of the field.
Okay, well, one thing we need to point out, as always, our 16 goals was scored during that series. So thanks to our partners over at Soylent. That's 160 extra meals going to the World Food Program USA. If you want to get involved, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. So that was 16 goals, 160 meals being contributed after that series. So fantastic stuff there once again, gentlemen. Inspiration needs to give those guys a shout out, though. I mean, they put up a great battle. They took some scalps along the way. PSG probably being the most notable of that, but unfortunately, I mean, you put them in any other of the regions that we've had so far, and you're looking at that team and you're saying potential qualifiers for at least a regional event. But unfortunately, you were born in Europe. It's as simple as that. So let's give you a brisk bracket update and let's see how that changes everything. We're starting to get towards the end of everything now for Europe. You can see Method move on, and they will face, I believe, the loser of No Names and Class on Grass. But we've got one more game to bring to you today. And it is one team that have been absolutely we haven't seen them yet on stream, but they have taken some names so far in this lower bracket.
Team Secret and Dignicats, the two most notable. So and a 5-game series versus Dignitas up there in the winner bracket. Two Swedes. I don't know what to expect at this point,
Sorry, that was one for the wrestling fans out there. Apologies, nobody actually saw what happened, but we'll come back in vision, and I'm happy to embarrass myself. I went too sweet. There we go. Anyway, but it's fine. We'll do it again. Forget about that. Just delete that.
I appreciate you.
Are we live? I think this is live. Oh no, I forgot. It's all a fix. Anyway, let's. If you want to get involved, use the hashtag UOS2. Let us know your thoughts on what that series. If it was entertaining for you, if you enjoyed that one, if you think Method are going to be one of the teams that qualify and get through to those grand finals. Don't forget to follow us at Universal Open as well to keep in touch with all the information for Season 2 of the Universal Open. Now, let's go for one more quick break, gentlemen. Let's have one more. Prepare ourselves for our final game of the day. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a good one. One of the teams we haven't seen so far in Two Swedes. We'll get I'll put my teeth in.
I agree.
Did you get my teeth?
I agree.
Someone stole them. Anyway, we're going to go for a very quick break. It's been a long day. I'm sorry, everybody. We'll get back and we'll bring you our game number 4.